December 1st, 1949. You are born in Rio Negro, Colombia. Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. You grow up watching a country that runs on violence and gets away with it. Men with guns take what they want. Politicians steal in the open. The rules exist for people who have no other option. You notice this very early. At 12, you tell your cousin and best friend Gustavo, "One day I will have $1 million, or I will die." By 15, you and Gustavo are already running small schemes, selling fake diplomas, forging lottery tickets, smuggling cigarettes. You walk into cemeteries at night, steal tombstones, sandblast the names off, and resell them. The streets of Medellin teach you faster than any classroom. By 20, you are stealing cars. First arrest, 1974. Charges don't stick. You walk out with new contacts and zero remorse. The lesson Medellin gives you is simple. There are two kinds of people in this city. Those who wait for permission, and those who take. The arrest doesn't scare you. It wakes you up. Judges have prices. Police have prices. You learn fast, and you never forget a lesson. You need real money, not cigarette money, not tombstone money. You kidnap a businessman from Medellin. You hold him. His family pays. Over $100,000 arrives in cash. You release him. No trace. No witnesses. You hold the money in your hands and feel something shift. This is what capital looks like. You invest every dollar. Contacts, vehicles, safe houses. Men who ask no questions. Then you meet Alvaro Prieto, marijuana smuggler. He shows you how the real game works. Jungle airstrips, low-flying planes at night, drop points in Florida, boats pretending to fish off the Caribbean coast. You study it all, every route, every risk, every corrupt official on every border. But marijuana is small thinking. You look at cocaine. A kilo of coca paste costs almost nothing here. Colombia, Peru, Bolivia. Abundant and cheap. Process it in the jungle, fly it to Miami, and that same kilo sells for $60,000. The math is obscene, in the best possible way. 1976. Police stops you outside Medellin. 39 kilos of cocaine in the spare tire of your car. You get arrested for the second time. First judge refuses your bribe. Case opens. Second judge takes the money. Case dies. You walk out the same week. The officer who arrested you is murdered shortly after. Nobody files a complaint. Nobody investigates. This is not a crime. This is an industry. And a man named Fabio Restrepo thinks he owns it. He is wrong. Fabio Restrepo runs cocaine in Medellin. He has routes, pilots, contacts in Miami and New York. He's been doing this longer than you. He thinks that protects him. You send 2 men to his house on a Tuesday morning. They knock on the door. He opens it. 3 shots. Close range. No message left behind. Just a body and a silence that spreads through Medellin faster than any words could. You absorb everything he built. His pilots now fly for you. His routes are your routes. His buyers in the United States keep receiving the same cocaine from the same jungle through the same airstrips, just under a different name. Yours, Pablo Escobar. The money starts moving differently. A single shipment, 400 kilos, brings in $8 million. You run 1 a week, then 2, then more than you can track. You stop counting the money. You start weighing it. The banks can't absorb it. The houses can't hold it. You start burying it. In drums, in fields, behind walls of houses you don't even live in. Between 1976 and 1979, the biggest traffickers in Colombia come to you. Men with their own empires, their own armies. They see the volume. They see the money. They arrive as partners. Under your structure, you divide the work. Every man controls his piece. Nobody knows the full picture. Only you do. By 1979, you are moving 1 ton of cocaine per week, $3.5 billion a year. And you are just getting started. You are not a trafficker anymore. You are the man who controls the cocaine supply of an entire continent, and the United States doesn't even know your name yet. By 1982, the numbers stop making sense. 2 tons of cocaine per week, then more. Your personal fortune hits $3 billion. Forbes puts your name on a list next to oil heirs and arms dealers. The money is no longer a reward. It is a problem. $420 million a week coming in. More than $22 billion a year. Then, the Americans start seizing shipments. They hold press conferences. They call it a victory. The volume is too large for seizures to matter. Losing a shipment is a rounding error. Rats eat through bills stored in jungle bunkers. Moisture destroys the rest. Over $2 billion lost. Simply gone. Rotted. Forgotten. At 32 years old, you now control 80% of all cocaine entering the United States. But it is not the drugs that trigger Washington's attention first. It is the amount of money. Billions of American dollars leaving the country every year, flowing through banks, shell companies, real estate, cash businesses. They start looking for the source. Your name starts appearing in intelligence reports. But in Colombia, you are untouchable. And for now, you are right. You buy a ranch. You call it Hacienda Nápoles. Not a house, not a farm, a territory. 3,000 acres in the Magdalena Valley, halfway between Medellin and Bogota. You spend $63 million building it. Not over years, over months. Because waiting is for people who have limits. You build a mansion, then another, a private airport, a bull ring, a motocross track, a lake, a collection of classic cars that stretches across an entire field. The private airport is not just for guests. Planes land there at night, loaded, and leave before sunrise. Luxury and logistics. The same property. Nobody asks questions. Then you import animals. Hippos from Africa, giraffes, elephants, zebras, rhinos, exotic birds from 3 continents. Rare species that zoos in Europe spent years negotiating to acquire. You acquire them in weeks because you pay whatever number ends the conversation. You build a full private zoo on your property because no one will tell you that you can't. You open it to the poor. Children from the slums of Medellin come on weekends free of charge. They see the giraffes and the hippos and they go home talking about the man who built all of this. That is exactly what you want. Before you, there were no hippos in Colombia. Today, more than 169 of them roam free through the rivers and wetlands of the Magdalena Valley. 4 animals imported on a whim. Now, a permanent part of Colombian nature. Above the entrance gate, you mount a small white plane, a trophy, a monument, a reminder that it all started with a single flight. Politicians come. Celebrities come. Journalists come. Everyone wants to be close to the money. Everyone pretends not to know where it comes from. You let them pretend. Cocaine made you rich. But in 1982, you decide that money is not enough. You want legitimacy. The football fields you built in the slums, the houses you constructed for families living under plastic sheets, the zoo you opened to poor children on weekends. None of it was charity. It was a campaign. You run for Congress as an alternate representative for Medellin. You win. The press calls you the Robin Hood of the slums. The poor believe it. You let them. For a brief moment, you sit in the Colombian Congress. You shake hands with ministers. You wear suits and carry a briefcase and speak about the needs of the people. Some congressmen refuse to sit in the same room as you. They know exactly who you are. So does Rodrigo Lara Bonilla. He is 36 years old, the justice minister, the most publicly courageous politician in Colombia. He stands up in Congress and says your name out loud. Drug trafficker, criminal, fraud. He produces records, evidence. He builds the case in front of cameras, in front of the entire country. Your political career ends in months. Months later, Lara Bonilla is assassinated on a Bogota street, shot from a motorcycle, in broad daylight. You ordered it. There is no going back now. Colombia declares war on you. The government, backed by the United States, begins extraditing traffickers to face trial in American courts. You understand immediately what this means. In Colombia, you can bribe a judge. You can threaten a jury. You can buy an entire courtroom. In America, you cannot buy anything. Extradition is the only thing you have ever feared. You make an offer. You will pay Colombia's entire national debt, billions of dollars, every cent the country owes to the world, in exchange for a guarantee you will never be extradited. One man offering to buy a country out of its own debt, the government refuses. You offer Colombia's political class a different choice. Plata o plomo. Silver or lead. Take the money and look the other way. Refuse and die. Many take the silver. Those who don't, die. You put a price on police officers, $3,000 for every cop killed in Medellin. More than 600 are murdered in less than 2 years. Men in uniform stop wearing their uniforms. Judges resign en masse. Presidents live surrounded by armed escorts. The Colombian state is not at war with a criminal. It is fighting to survive. You bomb a newspaper. In 1989, you assassinate Luis Carlos Galán, the presidential frontrunner for the 1990 election, leading the polls with 60% approval, shot on stage in front of 10,000 people at a campaign rally. His crime, promising to extradite you to the United States. You put a bomb on Avianca Flight 203 to kill one government informant. He never boarded. The plane explodes anyway. 107 people dead. For nothing. You detonate a truck bomb outside the Department of Security headquarters in Bogota. 52 dead, 700 wounded. You are not fighting the government anymore. You are at war with an entire country. By 1991, you are broken. Not publicly, never publicly. But behind closed doors, you are a man running out of options. The bombings, the assassinations, the war against the state, none of it stopped extradition. The Americans are pressuring Bogota harder than ever. The DEA and the CIA are embedded inside Colombian intelligence. Your own men are being arrested, tortured, turned into informants. You are not winning. You are bleeding. And then Colombia does something you never expected. The 1991 Constitution bans extradition. One clause. And then you surrender immediately. You negotiate the conditions. You build your own prison. La Catedral sits on a hilltop outside Medellin, on land you own. A soccer field. A bar, a jacuzzi, guards on your payroll. You design it, you staff it, you run the cartel from inside it. The world watches in disbelief and calls it a joke. But you need the image. You need your enemies, your rivals, your own men to believe you chose this, that you are still untouchable, still in control. For 13 months, it works. Until July 1992, when the government, finally pressured by Washington, attempts to transfer you to a real facility. You walk out the back before they reach the front door, barefoot, into the mountains, into the dark. For the next 489 days, you are the most wanted man on earth. The Colombian National Police, the CIA, the DEA, a vigilante death squad funded by your enemies called Los Pepes, the people persecuted by Pablo Escobar. Everyone is hunting you, and no one can find you. You are everywhere and nowhere. You move through the city that made you, Medellin, safe houses, loyal faces. People hide you not because they are loyal, but because they are afraid. You trust no one completely. Your head is worth $6.2 million, the biggest bounty in Colombian history. $1.5 million from the government, $2 million from the Americans, the rest from your enemies. You sleep in a different place every few nights, but you are not a ghost. You are a father, and that is the crack in the wall. You call your family. You cannot stop yourself. Your wife. Your son, Juan Pablo. Your daughter, Manuela. The calls are short, encrypted when possible, routed through different lines. You believe you are careful. You believe the signals disappear into the noise of a city of 3 million people. You are wrong. The search block, an elite Colombian police unit built for one purpose, to find you, has been triangulating every call for months. Each conversation narrows the radius. Each transmission is a coordinate on a map that ends with your address. Los Pepes are closing in from the other side. They burn your properties. They kill your lawyers, your accountants, your childhood friends. Everyone who has ever known you becomes a target, a message to the people still protecting you. Your world is shrinking. You can feel it. On December 1st, 1993, your son turns 16. You call to wish him happy birthday. It is the last call you will ever make. December 2nd, 1993. The search block traces the call. The signal locks onto Los Olivos, a quiet residential neighborhood in Medellin. A 2-story house. Ordinary street. Ordinary windows. Nothing that looks like the hiding place of the richest, most wanted man alive. They move at dawn. You hear them before they reach the door. You run. Through the house. Up the stairs. Onto the roof. Barefoot. A gun in your hand. This is how it ends. Not in a boardroom. Not in a courtroom. On a rooftop in the neighborhood next to where you grew up. The gunfight lasts 6 minutes. You fire first. They answer. A bullet tears through your leg. Another hits your body. The last one ends it. At 3:15 p.m., your body hits the roof. When the search block radios confirmation, the officer's voice breaks. Viva Colombia, we just killed Pablo Escobar. Medellin erupts. People dance in the streets. Others weep. Your empire is over. Pablo Escobar is officially dead. You leave bodies. Everyone around you, hunted, jailed, buried. Your cartel dies overnight, except 3 people. Your wife flees to exile. Your son buries Juan Pablo Escobar and becomes Sebastian Marroquin. Your daughter vanishes under an unknown new name. You leave 400 properties seized, ranches, apartments, bills rotting in walls, rats eating what's left. Hacienda Nápoles is now a theme park. You built an empire to rule Colombia. You leave a cursed name, auction signs, and a broken family running from your shadow. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.